Hello all. We're here at Iowa in the trucks. Yeah, in the 2019, I think 18, and a couple of years prior schedule, they put the trucks and the Xfinity on different dates. So where truck races usually come before Xfinity and Cup races, in this case, the trucks after. And so if you saw my video with the Xfinity here at Iowa, then you probably realize I took what I learned there and applied it here. And interestingly enough, I started off, because there is a difference between the trucks and Xfinity. I've since learned not as much as I've talked about before, but I started more towards where I ended up in Xfinity here. So I had a better truck overall. As you see, I'm in 7th on older tires, so that's better than like 15th in the Xfinity series in the same position. So definitely an improvement to the setup. Added wedge. I think I started off with 48.7 wedge here when I was at 49.1 in Xfinity ending, something like that. So here I'm usually a shorter track like this, smaller track, can handle less wedge, but I guess the flat nature of Iowa, or flatter nature of Iowa, lends to more wedge being necessary for weight balance and weight transfer and the turns and such. So here I am bumping up to 49.8, which I rarely do at tracks other than, say, Daytona and Talladega, big tracks like that, where handling isn't as critical. And I'm curious to see if it helps significantly. As you saw, I started off where, like, 3rd or whatever. On the restart, 5th. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. But I'm up here fighting with the leaders on fresh tires, so definitely an improvement to the setup, because you see I'm racing. I'm not just hanging on. I'm putting the truck where I want it to go, and it's sticking. I might not have the fastest truck, but I got a much better setup than when I last came to Iowa, and that's the goal, learn, figure out what's going on while you're, hopefully have a good enough setup to finish well. Top 10s, these seasons I'm going through now, it's just like, well, if I can't win the race, then I want a top 10 all the time. I want to finish top 10 in the stages. I want to finish top 10 in the races. At the very least, stay top 10 in the point standings. I think those are really good goals and realistic at almost all the tracks. When I complain I don't have a good enough setup, like as you'll see, it bears out in this race, it doesn't suck. It's not doing what I want it to do. And just like it in the Xfinity setup, I have the gearing set a little bit lower to prevent me from overdriving the corners. And in the truck, it actually seems to work a little bit better than it does in Xfinity. And dive bombing drives me nuts. It's AI, so I can't really do anything about it, because a human being typically won't will see a hole closing and realize, oh, that's his line, but it doesn't kind of work like that with AI yet. Over here, see, I'm kind of loose. I've been loose. I had some good wear, but it's too short a run to tell. That's why I almost didn't pit here. And as you see, I was playing around with the right rear, what to do, but I bumped up the wedge, and I'm going to see if the wedge, makes significant difference. You got 19 laps left. At the beginning of the race, I know I had a really fast truck, but it got stupid loose after 20 laps, and there was no early caution, so I had to sit there for like whatever the length of the stage was and just, hang on to it lap after lap. And I think I ended up finishing I don't know if I got a stage win. I don't think I got a stage win unless we got a late caution. I was able to put on tires and no one else did or something. But I think I was running just outside the top 10, and I'm like, well, that's not good enough. So it kind of negated all the gains I made in the setup with on the short run and made the long run, you know, ridiculous. You know, you got to manage that, and you know, for what length races you're doing. You know, a more aggressive setup might get you faster lap time, but it might not win you the race. So you kind of like that's why you race, is all these decisions you make before and during. Lately, since I've been getting a decent handle on a lot of the important track setups, when I race, I kind of, if I'm trying something, I'm trying to fine tune it where I can adjust with just wedge and tire pressure. You know, like I'll leave those as the question marks, you know, when I start a race, so that, you know, when I pit or at the stage breaks, I can make adjustments if I need to. And you know, I race full length races, and the tracks change, particularly between stages. Like DW says, you know, they're comers and goers. So, you know, the guys that are on top in the first stage often are on top of the second stage, but you'll see other guys that you didn't see in the top 5 or the top 10 come up, you know, as the race goes on, while other guys will fade, which is cool, you know, because that's kind of like, you know, more like real life. See, this setup here, it's about 24-1, which is a really fast setup for me at Iowa. Might not be the fastest, but see, I'm running second, and that's terrific. So now I'm watching my tire temps. I'm seeing it's still getting loose, but it's fast. So it's like, do I balance? You know, if I balance the truck more, is that gonna make me faster or slower? You know, if, you know, loose is fast, right? Yeah, but too loose, especially on tight corner tracks, you tend to lose speed off the turns, which is drive off. So when you hit the gas and you see the right rear temp shoot up, that part of that, because you don't really feel it, which is unfortunate in Heat 4, but that might be tire slippage. So you're spinning your tires instead of pushing you down the track, and that's costing you time and speed. So you kind of like gotta figure out, you know, okay, is the loose helping me to turn better, or is the loose hurting my drive off? You know, and then you gotta figure your adjustment from there. If it's drive off, then, you know, you can do tire pressure or a spring change between races. But during a race, you know, it's important, because sometimes, you know, at the beginning of a race, I'll just take air pressure out and see what it does. If it helps it, which it usually will regardless of why you're loose, I'll keep going that way until I see that it's like, you know what, I can take 10 pounds out and it's not really going to do anything. It's still going to go that way. I might make it better, but not. And then what I'll do is, since I'm working on the right rear, and that's the hottest corner, I'll go to the next corner. First thing I'll do is, because it's rear, is I'll look at the left rear. And like I said, all my setups, left rear doesn't really engage as much. So there's always room there if I need it. And if I reduce the stagger, it might make the truck less loose, or it might make it looser, because the left rear also affects the right front. So you put more weight on the left rear, it puts less weight on the right front, so it can lower the tire temps and take a tight condition and make it more neutral. Potentially. But it all depends on the setup. So as you see, I'm not too badly loose, because at times it's equalizing out, like now. But also my right side tire temps are higher overall, and I don't like that. Okay, 7 laps to go. I'm in the lead, but that Moffat truck, I think that's Moffat or Rhodes, is just really strong. So I'm thinking, should I pit? and take a chance, and I do pit. And this I don't quite understand, because it doesn't show anybody else pitting. There's 12 cars in the lead lap, and yet I'm restarting second. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but I'm happy about it, because I don't have to go through the pack, even just 12 cars. So here we go. I got really good gearing for the AI. So, you know, I'm in the lead. So we got like, what, 5 laps left or something? I don't know. I don't even remember. But it's not a whole lot of laps, so it's just like, drive it like you stole it, pick up as big a lead as possible, because the pack might not come back on me, but I know Rhodes will. He's not letting me go. I got 3 laps to go, and I'm like, you know, this is just like, you know, make a truck as wide as possible. But as you see with the oh, that's why I didn't pit. So I got old tires. So here I am struggling. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? I should have pitted. Because he's just way too strong. I'm only racing him. In my mind, he's the only truck I have to beat. So essentially, I have a top 2 truck. You know, maybe top 5 on older tires or something. But I'm like, he's the one I had to beat, and I made the wrong decision at this point. And I'm not really happy about it, because now once you get down into the 70s with this setup and at Iowa, you lose maneuverability and you lose grip. So you have to slow down. He's not slowing down. And now I gotta watch the number 3 truck behind me. You know, see, I still got tremendous drive off out of 3, which helps me tremendously. But just running out of laps, no time. What did I get? 102 speed rating, yeah. Because I was there, but I wasn't all the way there. But much better performance than in the past. See, I qualified 12th. I always qualify probably about 5 positions back than I probably should. Not always, but most of the time. Okay, so Rhodes won the first stage. I didn't even see where I finished there. Yeah. Short track racing. It's weird because Iowa is a lot like Richmond in the way it races. Just faster turns, you know. The tight turn at Iowa is faster than the tight turn at Richmond. At least it is for me. So, okay, so I didn't win either stage. I think that's me over there. So I finished second or third, maybe. I think that's me. Couldn't tell. Maybe it wasn't. Whatever. I was hopefully in the top 10. Got some points. I start off real good. Strong, right up there. It's about 20 laps in, and then the pack kind of gets me. But Rhodes was like, or whoever's in the lead, you know, at the time, just took off. So I knew I didn't have the fastest truck, and I'm adjusting the whole race up in the wedge, tire pressures, because it was basically going loose on me, and I was losing the drive off. And that's, as you saw, I gained a lot. So that was my strength. So when your strength goes away, then you're just basically falling back because, you know, you're giving up too much. This is where the clip started. Lap 170, so like 30 laps to go. Because it's the M&M's 200 here at Iowa. And it's a good thing that once the caution graphic comes out, your damage doesn't count. Which is something they fixed. I wish it wouldn't show the damage, but, you know, it's a small thing. Yeah. So up front all day, big improvement on the setup. It's only my 3rd full race at Iowa Nascar Heat 4. Trucks, two truck races in Xfinity. The first truck race, I think I finished 8th, but I really had a top 15 truck, so I finished 8th at Xfinity, but I deserved the 8th. That's about where about the best I was running. And here, I could have gotten a win, but just need a little bit more. I need the setup to not give up as much. But I was really happy, you know. How can you be happy, not happy with the top two? Coming up through the field. Yeah. See, when I can stay down on that yellow line on both ends, I'm good. But after about, if I'm pushing it hard, or after about 20 laps, it's just, I couldn't do it at the speed I needed to do it to keep in front of that guy. See, look at all the ground I made up driving off. And I passed him there. How's that caution? Yeah, old tires. See, I might have won, but I don't think I had time to get up through 10 guys. It was good. It wasn't that good. Doing everything I can. It came up just a little short. Like I said, good improvement overall. Yeah, you gotta take what you can get. But no, you know, next time around, I got a top 5 truck, so that takes a lot of pressure off, and then you can concentrate more on fine tuning. It's like, okay, I know I got a good setup. How do I get that last little extra to get that, you know, one more spot, or how do I get it so that I can lead, you know, more laps and stay out front. Know if I take the lead at 20 to go, that unless I screw up, I don't have to give it up because I got the fastest setup, fastest truck, etc. You know, all this stuff goes through my mind. Something with the graphics there, it happens sometimes. It hasn't happened on PlayStation because this is recorded on computer. There's 1x full length racing. I use pedals, G29 wheel, manual with the shifter. Not the paddles. The real, well, not a real, but you know, the simulated shifter. You actually have to move it into each gear individually. Yeah, that's just racing to me is, you know, paddles. Yeah, I had to do that on one wheel I had because they didn't offer a shifter back then. The only shifter they offered was like an IndyCar shifter, the sequential shifter. You know, where you tap it. It's like the paddles, except, you know, up was up and down was down instead of left and right being down and up kind of thing. And I like the shifter better. Always did. I'm a good shifter. Xfinity. Next up, Daytona. Oh, it's mid-season. Oh, cool. Well, here's my settings. Show you what I'm running. And remember, brake smoothing is okay. And thank you for coming along. Please like, subscribe if you like a lot, and keep rolling all.